All right, guys, welcome in. Welcome back to Above Ground World News. Hopefully we have audio. Wow. What is going on with the weather? Well, we're going to jump into that, man. Holy crap, man. How things change in 24 hours. Sometimes I just scratch my head. When you know things, and they know you know the things, but yet they still do the things. It's just a head scratcher. So up until yesterday, like Sunday, like we're looking at the dust, we're looking at the winds up in the stratosphere, we're looking at all the atmospheric conditions, and there should be no way for a hurricane to form. We're looking at the dust coming off the Saharas right now, and in the last month and a half, there has never been a little break in the dust. But besides that, all the different pressures, the winds, there should not be a hurricane right now. We're going to get in and show you why. And even the mainstream Monday night come out and said the atmospheric conditions were not favorable for any kind of tropical development. But yet today I go back to dig up them videos, and every single one of them from the mainstream are deleted. So what the heck is going on? But I'm going to show you some crazy stuff to show you. This is a completely man-made storm, and we're going to get into that. I mean, if this thing hits Florida, which I'm still not even sure it's going to hit Florida as a hurricane. I mean, it shouldn't be a hurricane whatsoever. No way, no how. But we're going to get into all that. But if it does hit, it's going to be like a sand blasting hurricane. This thing has so much dust in it, it's going to be a sand blaster. Anyway, let's go ahead and shut this thing down if I can find the tab here. And I want to let you guys know that I'm over here on Bright now. And after I get done with the show, I upload a full HD version up there. And then I usually post it about 7 in the morning. I noticed lately here YouTube has been taking out minutes of the live stream. I have missing sentences on every one of my videos. Like they just cut out the stuff they don't want you to hear. I couldn't believe it. Like we're talking, one of the videos I looked at, I think it was a 16-day forecast, was missing 7 minutes. So it's insane. So if you guys, if they buffer the stream out too bad, or you know, whatever, come over here to Brighton. Here, I'll post this in the chat right now. It's also right in the, oh, I posted, that's the wrong one. Hold on here, let me copy this. Copy. I don't even know what the hell I just posted you there. There it is. All right, so there's a link to a full HD version without any missing time or no lag. I mean, it's uploaded in the best quality I can upload. So I got to upload it through the night, though, so don't eat up all our bandwidth. Anyway, make sure you bookmark this page. All right. So like I said, up until yesterday or Tuesday, Wednesday, they said there was not going to be no storm development. Well, they changed their mind, and then they started scrambling. I mean, even the meteorologists are freaking out on how this thing become a hurricane, and they're scrambling to come up with reasons why it's doing it. And none of them make a bit of sense. They're all contradicting everything they say. So let's get into some nitty-gritty here. Now, I've been tracking these storms for 6-7 years, doing the satellite meteorology, also took courses on it, all that stuff. And what I always say in my forecast is we take the GFS models, we take the Canadian models, kind of go in between them, and then we factor in the weather modification as it comes. Now, there was no weather modification on this storm up until Tuesday into Wednesday. That's when the weather channels and all them changed their mind. Well, they're still doing it. They're still spraying out the way they want it to go. I mean, I'm going to get into some damning evidence here in just a little bit. So they're still spraying. Here, let me get this on where it stands out a little better here. All right. So what I want you to take note here in Puerto Rico, we have mass spraying operations. We also see the frequency clouds, the microwave signatures of the clouds, because when I show you the other things that go along with this, it's just going to blow your mind. So we actually have 3 spraying operations out ahead of this, and this is about the distance they always stay out ahead of these storms. We watched and documented Hurricane Florence all the way from the desert all the way over here. They kept the same distance out ahead of it. We got 1 spraying operation here, 1 right in the storm, 1 here up the coast of Florida, and then 1 down here in the Gulf of Mexico. So they have this thing triangulated. I mean, you can see the big, heavy, thick lines. Oh, and the other thing, before I get too far into this storm, I always tell you before a major event, every single hurricane, they start blasting these aerosols up here along with the ship tracks. We have a major bunker fuel operation here, and then heavy aerosols being deployed all the way up into Alaska. I mean, it's just insane. We'll get into that here a little bit later. Let's get through this so-called Hurricane Dorian. Now we see all the frequencies in this. These are not gravity wave clouds like the mainstream will tell you. These are actually particulates being pumped into this storm. And we're going to take a look at a couple crazy things. So let me get over here. So what I want you to look at, we're looking at the more microwave imagery. And I want you to watch how this comes up to Puerto Rico here. And then it just takes a hard right turn right around the island. Now I'm going to show you why it took that turn right around that island. I'm going to show you what's there. They will never let it hit where I'm getting ready to show you. Let me go ahead and get out of this for a minute, because I'm going to load up some other things on this just so we got them in order. Let me try to go back here. There we go. And I want to put this on the IR for now. All right, we'll come back to this. Let me show you something. Now I put the tracks here. I'm over here at Climate Viewer 3D. I put the tracks over here. And you know, when the mainstream's every single mainstream channel is covering this, this thing could end up not being nothing. I mean, it's happened before. But like, I can't trust any of these models. But what I can show you is, remember, I just showed you how the mimic map, it come up here towards Puerto Rico and then took a turn right around the island, and then right here it turns into the hurricane. Well, this is, guess what's right here? Everybody always talks about Hart. Hart is only one of many ionospheric heaters, and we have one right here, the Arecibo Observatory Enhanced HF Ionospheric Heating Instrument. This is the same thing as Hart. This thing puts out 600,000 watts, 2 million megawatts. And, you know, hey, they don't want this thing to get hit. It didn't get hit the last hurricane that went through here. They always go around the NEXRADs. They always go around all that stuff because they need this. This is what's controlling the weather. See, it's right on the edge. Like, they can steer it right around this island. You know, boom. They don't even have far. They don't even need to use the digisons. You also have a digison right here, which helps bounce the high frequencies and turns them into the low frequencies. You also have a VLF right here. It's a naval radio transmitter facility. 800 hertz at 250 kilowatts. Now let me back this out. And what's crazy, look, this thing's going to go right on up, right on around, and right about the same distance from this very low frequency transmitter here in Florida. You know, it's no coincidence that these things are here. I mean, there's tons of other ionospheric heaters on here that I got marked. We also have the super darns, scatter radars. Most people don't even know these things are here. These are all for weather control. What else do I got on here? I've got the, see if these come up. We got, them are Gwens. Them are probably decommissioned Gwen towers. But we've got the directed energy weapons and lasers also on this map. And when you look at the map and you span it out, man, these are all weather control devices, and this is just a small percentage of them. There's an ionospheric heater almost in every country. Some are way bigger than Hart. You got a huge one down here in Peru. Got super darns down here. I mean, they got these things tucked away in the mountains where nothing can get to them. I mean, these things are huge. It's a 4.5 megawatt at 49.92 megahertz. Scatter radars, super darns. They got them all. They're everywhere. They're hidden away. People don't even know about it. Everybody only talks about HARP. HARP is outdated. You don't need HARP no more because you got all the other ones, and then all the upgrades that have been done to the NextRads have turned them into omnidirectional phased arrays. Just go look it up. Go look up the upgrades that they did to the NextRads. You're going to find out they're phased arrays, just like HARP. Smaller versions. Everything's going micro. All right, so we know this thing took a turn right around where the ionospheric heater is. Let's take a look at the morphed microwave imagery. Here's Dorian right here coming up, you know, the Leeward Islands. Coming up, here it is, and it just shoots right around. It slingshots around. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little better here. Try to zoom in and square that up so you can see this thing slingshot around. See, it gets real bright yellow in there, so it got hit with a little bit of frequencies. You already have the steering mechanism via the aerosols that are being deployed. And the other thing to notice about this atmospheric river, it has changed. It changed flows overnight. Now the flows have been constant for over 2 months, and now it's changed. So that's just a couple of the reasons. Now here's some of the major reasons. Let me go back a day, just 1 day or even 2 days. Let's get that to load. Look at the winds. These are the winds up above the troposphere. I mean, we're up here, you know, 26,000, roughly 500 meters up. And the winds are just screaming across just above the equator. This is what's bringing in all the dust. This would keep anything from forming. It all just blows straight south. That's why all these hurricanes that have been over here, they just been blown straight off. But when you go to now, it's changed just over the last, you know, 24, 48 hours. And look where it's not windy. Right where the hurricane is. I mean, this is so manipulated. I'm going to show you so much proof that there should be a hurricane here. It's just mind-boggling. So somehow they slowed these winds down. And just in this area, look, they're still screaming off the Sahara Desert, and then they pick back up over here. Just to show you and reference, let's go back to last year, what it looked like at this time. That's what it looked like last year. Can you see the difference? Now this thing has been screaming like this for a couple months. So very strange anomaly. Let's go ahead and go down and let's check it. 70 HPAs. It's like the stratosphere level. Still going from east to west. Let's go down to the jet stream. So what they do, we got to watch. So the aerosols are being deployed here. They're being deployed here, and they're being deployed here. We got like a little kink right there. All the winds should be spinning counterclockwise, but we have this spinning clockwise. Let me go on down. We'll check the vortice layer. This is the scalar field. See, these are spinning counterclockwise like they should be. Let's go on down to the surface winds. All right. So right now the winds aren't too big time, but here's some more evidence that there should be a hurricane. Let's go over here to the ocean temperatures. Take the wind off. We go ahead and put this on the sea surface temperatures. Where's all the hot water? Right here in the Gulf of Mexico, down here, down through the Bajas. Look where it's not hot. Right where the hurricane's going. It's cooler water. You got the hot water here, a little bit of hot water there, but not where the hurricane is. Let's check the sea surface temperature anomalies. Our crazy anomaly that was out here is gone. But look, right in the projected path is where there's no heat anomalies. It's going right up in the dark areas, the cooler water. Just another reason this thing should not be forming. I mean, this thing has got to be like completely man-made, completely being steered with, you know, the ionospheric heaters, the NEXRADs, the satellite weaponry. Let's try the pressures. Nothing but high pressure all the way here. I mean, you got a little bit of a low pressure, but not hardly nothing right here. So it's all high pressure. Let's go up to the levels to see if it changes. Nope, it's not going to change. Let's go ahead and check the energy for a storm to form. There's no energy. I mean, there's a little bit right here where it's actually right here, right now. So where's all the energy? All the energy is way over here in the Gulf of Mexico, way down here. But look, in the projected path, there's no energy. I mean, very little for that to work with. There's more energy in the storm that's heading up to the north. So what the heck is going on here? So here's our precipitation. Let's just take this up to see what we're looking at here. So we're going to take this up and see what kind of rain amounts that we're going with here. Like I said, man, there should be no reason there's a hurricane out here. Not at all. This has to be completely fabricated. I mean, it's the only way, because the atmospheric conditions are not conducive to a hurricane. I mean, there's wind shear, there's high pressure, there's not hot water. I mean, even the mainstream meteorologists have to be scratching their head. They're not asking any questions of what the hell is going on. Let's check the humidity. Where are we at here? We're on 1,000. Let's try the surface. Man, there's hardly any humidity out here. There's some right over that island, but not much, man. Look, it's all up here where the north storm is. And I want to go ahead and check the total precipitable water. Hey, thanks out there, Super Chat. I didn't see who that was. Cleveland, Marco, much love out there. Thanks for helping us. So here is the total cloud water. Well, hell, there's not a lot of cloud water for it to work with. I mean, come on, there's nothing here. Maybe I need to go up. Let's go to the jet stream, see if that makes a difference. No, it don't. And the total precipitable water. So we do got a little bit of moisture for it to work with, but look, there's a dust flume right in front of it. The dust should be breaking this up, but it's not. What is going on? Let's check the dust layer. So here's our next wave of dust. We've already been inundated by dust. There's dust. All this yellow on the map here is the Sahara dust. If you guys go out, you can see the storms right here. Like, this thing should not be forming. This thing should have no way in hell of hitting Florida. It pisses me off. There's no way this thing should be forming. Let's take this back just a day or two. So, I mean, you just got so much dust out here, man. This thing should have broke up from all that dust. Let's go back a couple more days. So look at this. This thing was inundated with Sahara dust before it formed into anything. And you can just see we've been getting hit wave after wave after wave of this stuff. If you guys go out and check your rain gauges, in the bottom of your rain gauge, you're going to have yellow, sandy, reddish, orangish looking dust in the bottom of your rain gauges. And I don't care where you live, you're going to have it. This dust has made its way, you know, all across the United States. Hell, it's out here probably in Hawaii. There's probably the same nasty dust out there. Let me go ahead and put it back on now. So I've just showed you, you know, 5, 6, 7 things how this storm should not be forming. Let's go ahead and check the wave heights. So right now, you know, really don't have much for waves. We're 11-foot waves. Let's go ahead and see if we can fast forward this up. I know we can only go a day or two, maybe 3. Let's see what we got there. So we're looking at 25-foot waves. So we can get right up to the bank here. We're looking at 25-foot waves when the storm comes in. So, man, all I can say is be prepared, man. This is not a natural storm whatsoever. So, you know, if they're not natural, how do you predict that? How do you predict when you know that they have been altered? You know this is not a natural storm. Not at all. I probably can't go up another day. Nope. So here we go. Who knows? And it could not, you know, when the mainstream is all hyping this up like they've done it to several storms, and then by the time it gets here, it turns into nothing. But they got everybody to go out and buy generators, and, you know, maybe the people that at the lows and stuff sponsor these storms. Hell, I don't know. I mean, we could all speculate on that forever. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And I'd like to zoom in on this a little bit closer, just so we can get some of the aerosols. We'll put this on the aerosol layer, and then we can see these spraying operations in action. Let me go ahead and put this on the cirrus layer. Oh man, you'll have to go back and watch previous videos. I show all the companies worldwide that can steer the atmospheric rivers. When I'm talking the atmospheric rivers, I'm talking this. This is the rivers up in the sky. They can steer these with just regular old NEXRAD weather stations using electromagnetics. Here, we'll play you a little clip. I'll play you a little clip. So hang on here. Hopefully I got it loaded here. Let me mute my mic and play a little clip of a company out of Australia that has done rain enhancement. He's put fires out in Tasmania this year. He did weather programs over Texas in 2012. Caused a lot of damage. But here, let's play a clip from him so you guys can get where I'm coming from here.
We're not using chemicals fired through rockets like other technologies use. We use a very gentle but powerful technology, launching electromagnetics into the atmosphere to modify the flow of the weather system over the ocean and drawing it into a target. So To try and keep it simple, we establish some kind of link with a weather system, and once we've seen through satellite meteorology that we have that link, we're able to draw that system in incrementally towards the target, such as in this case the Horn of Africa.
Mahendra, you call this project the Global Rain Project. Why the Global Rain Project?
Well, let me just step back. Ever since the beginning of civilization, mankind has diverted rivers on earth to wherever we wanted to practice agriculture. Now we look at the atmosphere. The oceanic, 90% of the rain, more than 90% of the rain falls on the ocean.
Sure.
It's only about less than 5% on earth. So the 90% that is above the oceans, these are fundamentally atmospheric rivers. And just the way we harvested rivers on earth, we should be harvesting now with new technology the rivers above the oceans and moving them to a target area. Now, why is it?
That's right. They're harvesting the rivers of the sky. And if you're new here, if you didn't know, in Texas, I just had a video, probably a week ago, where I showed the 2019 weather modification programs over Texas, the Texas License Bureau. You can go to the Texas License Bureau and get a weather modification license. But I played their video of the licensing company, and they talked about all the clouds that they seeded, all the storms they seeded. I'll play just a little clip of that, just so you guys can get the picture about what's really going on with our weather.
We've had a lot of cases where we were seeding storms that had no business being seeded. We were just kind of throwing darts, and we were seeing responses in some of those. So we are learning that maybe there's more opportunity with some of these. Maybe we don't even need to have a rain cloud. We could go work cumulocongestus clouds that aren't really precipitating yet. And if it has inflow, maybe we could get something to work. Year one, we had the air tractor that the USDA provided, so dosaging was a lot better. We were getting about 40 to 45 gallons per cloud. That aircraft wasn't available in year two, so we took one of our Comanches and converted it.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm George Bomar, Weather Modification Program Specialist in the Office of Innovation and Project Management. Since our last November, we have had completed the radar-derived assessment of cloud seeding operations done in Texas during 2018. That study is done on an annual basis by Dr. Ruiz out of Texas Tech University. That report just arrived, so it's not loaded on your desktop.
All right, guys, just go back and look through my video playlist. That was about a 2-hour long video that I've got it knocked down to about an hour. And they talk about how they were seeding clouds that were already thunderstorm warned. They were already under a warning, but yet they still seeded the clouds. You know, we had all the floods over the Midwest. And when you look at these technologies, they all say that they can produce 35 to 45% more rain. Now, when you're looking at all the storms over the last 10 years, most of these storms are putting out way more moisture than they should be. These are all being manipulated. They're trying to create the weather. They're trying to make it so crazy that people will fall for the global warming, the climate change, when it's really climate control. They have their hands on the thermostat. In fact, let's go jump over to the worldview map just for a second. We showed the cloud seeding out ahead of this, and I guarantee tomorrow this cloud seeding operation will be the same distance, but it's going to be up more over here over the Caribbeans. And then the next day it's going to be right over here next to Florida. They're going to steer this. They do a cloud seeding operation out ahead of it, which gives the nanoparticulates and the metals and the polymers, and then they can actually guide it with the NEXRADs. But what I want to show you, before every major storm, there's always bunker fuel being deployed. What's bunker fuel? It's the most toxic emissions on the planet, and it's coming from the ships. Just search bunker fuel in the Google search. But let me add a layer on here that might bring it out a little better tonight. Might make it stand out a little better. But these are like, and what they say it's inadvertent weather modification. Whoops, I didn't add the, oh, there it is. Okay, it's coming. Yeah, they say it's accidental geoengineering, but it's not an accident. There's regulations on it from the IPAC or whoever they are, but they eased them because they say it helps with the global warming. Now, these clear layer right here, let me give it a second. Like, I can see them because I show them nightly when they're out here, but then at the same time, look, you have tons of chemtrails being deployed. Look, they're spanning out. And look up here, look at all these. Look at these things drifting into clouds. I mean, you could say these are water vapor, whatever the hell you want. You can call them contrails, but there's a problem with them. They're creating clouds. They're creating weather systems. These are worse than car pollution, just like these ship tracks. Just a regular cruise liner ship puts out 1 million cars worth of emissions today. You know, and tonight I'm not even getting into the cloud generators that are on the ground, the cloud ionizers. We're just talking about some basic weather modification tonight. And it's all right here in front of our faces. And, you know, just like that little clip a minute ago, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, they're in on the weather modification. They're flooding all the farmlands out so they can go in there and either buy the farmers out or make them plant the genetically modified, rain-resistant, drought-resistant seeds. And we're all going to be eating frankenfood. We all already are. There's no such thing as organic food because of the aerosols that are being deployed. That's why the trees are dying. That's why the bees are dying. And I'm probably not going to have time to get into it tonight, but I have a peer-reviewed study where scientists have been addressing the link between geoengineering and the wildfires. So worldwide dispersal of the aerosolized particulates are increasing the global warming, and it endangers human and planetary health. Now, I got this document. I'm probably going to make just a video on it alone. And it's a peer-reviewed study that just come out. So, I mean, that's just a video in itself. And I'm telling you right now, with all the volcanic activity that's went off, with all the fires going on, and all the aerosols that are being deployed around the world, we're going to be in for a manufactured ice event. And then on top of it, we already are in the grand solar minimum. So you think the polar vortex was bad last year? Just wait. Over the next year or two, food prices are going to spike like crazy. The temperatures are going to drop. You know, they're trapping the heat in now. It's like a fake global warming. But eventually something's going to give. And it's just like the fires. You know, everybody out there knows about the fires in Brazil. Let me show you something. You know, the mainstream waited 30 days after the fires to report that they were going on down here. But what's crazy are the fires are way worse over in Africa, like way worse. So it's just insane. If you go back a day or two, it's just unbelievable. This whole damn place was on fire. This is light compared to what's going on over here. So you got to add all them particulates up into the sky along with the volcanic activity. You know, the geoengineering is to mimic volcanoes. Well, they've done a pretty good job. We've had so many volcanoes that have went off this year that it's just mind-blowing. So let me see. Oh, wow, where'd it go? Why is it not loaded now? Where's our page at here? Let me get rid of some of these to see if it'll help. Maybe because I'm zoomed out so much. All right, give me a second here. Wow, our page is gone here. What the heck? Let me try to reload it. Well, the Amazon fires, they were all intentionally set. You had 200 miner or 2,000 miners and oil, people going in there before the fires, starting the fires. You had the presidential plane on the way to the G summit got busted for pounds and pounds of cocaine. I mean, it just goes on and on, man. The stuff that's going on is just insane, man. The dark side is controlling the world right now. Who knows on this hurricane? Like, usually I can forecast and be dead on 16 days out, but like with something like this is completely unnatural. It's going against all the forecasting models. That's why I don't get the mainstream should be asking questions. The mainstream meteorologists should be like, what the hell's going on here? But yet, what they do, they deleted all their videos that were talking about how it shouldn't be forming. They deleted all them. They're wiped out. They're gone. And now they're just making excuses on how it or why it's forming, how it's forming. And it's all complete nonsense. It's all lies. Yeah, whatever it is, whatever article I talked about the other day, there's been several of them, like there's been so many. You can see these are all fake man-made clouds. All these are fake man-made clouds, fake man-made, they're all fake. There's hardly ever a day of clear skies anymore. So, let me just look here. I was going to zoom in on. All right, let's go ahead and just zoom in on an area here where we've seen the aerosols being deployed, just so you can see it in action. So we'll give this thing a second to load. I think that spraying operation, was that up a little farther north? Oh yeah, that's going to be up more closer to Canada. Yeah, it's right there at the top of Washington, so we should be able to see it. So some of the articles I was going to get into was the lithium, the next big thing. Proposed tailings facility faces backlash from Farmingtown. Lithium is found in the aerosols also. This is one of the biggest companies that produces the lithium for the batteries, for the chemtrails, Now here's the article that I'm going to get into on the California wildfires, the role of undisclosed atmospheric manipulation and geoengineering. We'll get into that another day. I'm just trying to get all this stuff to load for us here. Okay, that's that. All right, so now let me put the enhancement on. And what you're looking for is long straight lines. You're looking for the aircraft leaving the line. See, here's a big old tic-tac-toe board. Look at the spraying going on over Washington's getting bombarded. Look at that. They just keep spraying the same place over and over and over. They're spraying out here off the coast. Look way out here off the coast. This is all man-made clouds. There would not be clouds here if it wasn't for the airplanes making the clouds. This is how they fabricate the weather. Adding all these particulates. This is why all the plants and the trees are dying. Look at that. I mean, some of these are just so thick and so blatant. So anyway, yeah, there you go, man. Look at that X in the sky. Big old X's. Super spraying. Let's zoom in even more. Let's zoom right in on Washington. This is what they're going through today. They're getting mass bombardment over their whole state. Who's responsible? The USDA, the North American Weather Modification Association, Navy, NASA, everybody. So once this starts loading, it's going to be pretty mind-blowing. I mean, this is insane. Watch this. Watch how the fake clouds come into existence. These are all fake clouds. These are all man-made. Look at that. And then they turn into a weather system. You wouldn't be having weather. This would be a totally clear day if these planes were not leaving these aerosols. And even for the people that don't believe in geoengineering, look, there's a problem with the planes creating weather. I mean, right here shows you. These are airplanes creating the weather. That should be an issue for everybody. Look at upside down cross right there, like the thickest chemtrail on the planet right there. Watch right over here. Got the big X. And watch this one come out, another big old line. And this next one turns into like an upside down cross, real super thick. Right there, look at that. Look how thick that thing turned into. So we definitely have an issue with the aircraft. Anyway, guys, I gotta cut this show short tonight. But if it's all messed up and buffering, just make sure you go check the video out in the link I gave you earlier. And right now we're gonna play a song called Rise. Like, everybody needs to rise up against this. This is bio warfare against the people. This is warfare against our crops, our farmers, and our kids. It's not the global warming. It's not the climate change. It's climate control. It's the grand solar minimum. They're using it all to their advantage, while the mainstream is pushing every kind of division they can come up with. Anyway, guys, much love. Let's rise up. We'll play a song called Rise. Then we'll play our fight song, and then we'll play our victory song. Anyway, guys, much love. Thanks to everybody out there that shares this information out. Much love. Here we go. Crank it up.